All right. Hello, everyone. And I want you to know one thing. While I'm a passionate parenting coach, I'm also a professional. So that means that there is very little time that I get to do this work of parenting. I manage APAC region for a consulting organization called Gartner. So my day job is pretty busy, and there are a few people who reach out to me about parenting. And presently, I only make time for Mr. Krishnan because this is one place I feel that there is genuine effort being put in to educate peer parents towards conscious parenting. And that has to do with his diapering brand of Bunbury, because the whole idea of creating sustainable, uh, whatever, whether it is diapering or whatever might come later on, that flows into parenting. So there is a bridge, and this is what I really like about Bunbury, and that's why time and again we meet and we continue to collaborate. Yeah. So thank you very much for being here. I have been calling it conscious parenting because it takes conscious effort to do this kind of parenting and not the autopilot parenting that we are generally used to in this world, right? Some of the questions that came our way through the Google form. And these are some of them that we would like to answer today. Here is the first question that we had. Is there a right way to parent? Okay. Are we good to answer that question now? What I want you to do is, I want you to think that one day you find the seed, okay? And this seed looks like every other hundreds and thousands of seeds. Now, looking at the seed, do you know what plant this is? Looking at the seed, can you tell what plant this is? Okay, Srividya says no, thank you. Anybody else has any other opinion?
No.
Thank you. Now think about the seed as that child who's growing inside the womb, right? Now this child is born, is as good as you have planted that seed, and you have watered it, and one fine day you see these two small leaves coming out of it. But remember, you're not a botanist. Now looking at this sapling, what are you thinking? How will you water this plant? What manure will you provide? Will you put it in sunlight? Will you put it in shadow? What will you do? Is it possible that you know everything about that plant if you're not a botanist? Thank you, Ronak. Yes. And this is, thank you, Srividya. General cautions. Excellent. Excellent. I appreciate this so much, right? Now think about a child. Now the child has come to this world, and now you're looking at this child and you're wondering, oh my God, I don't know how to parent this child. I don't know whether this child is someone who is an introvert, somebody who's an extrovert, somebody who likes to read, or somebody who has a lot of energy. Is my child going to be someone who needs food exactly at the hour, or someone who can manage a 30 minutes here and there? So we don't know. If we don't know what is the first rule of parenting, it has to do everything with you as a parent. And what does that mean? That means when I look at my child and what are the expectations in my head? Oh, at 7 months, my child should be sitting. At 12 months, they should be eating. But what if my child is not the mango tree that every other mango tree is in the orchard? What if my child is a mint? And what I'm saying is, meet the child where the child is. Meet the child. My child could be a person who wants their rice and dal different, doesn't want it to touch. Whereas every other child in the world is mixing, matching, and mishmash and eating away to glory. And you're wondering, oh my God, what's wrong with my child? Nothing is wrong with your child. And I am saying, let's respect that human being. They are not being difficult. They are little people with who are very new to this world and trying to understand. It's like if I was to pick you up and put you in an Air Force station, and I tell you, please go to the squadron and give this briefing about MET and make sure that all aircraft know that there is not going to be any standby diversion today. Tell me, what did you understand? And this is with you fully developed brain, knowing the world, watching the TV. You have amassed the information about this world. And now answer that question. Thank you, Sri Vidya. I am so grateful for your face. Now I can speak to people. Thank you. Right? We did not get anything. Thank you, Ronak. Now look about that. Now think about that child who's 1 year old, who's 6 years old. Their brain is still developing, having the prefrontal cortex is just about starting to get some blood supply. And what is our expectation? Oh, when I was 6 years old, I could do this. The question I'm asking you, is the soil the same? That is the environment 100% same when you were growing up? And that's, thank you, Sri Lekha. And that's an honest question that you have to ask yourself. Is the environment 100% safe? Same, sorry. If it is not, thank you. Thank you, Rana. Thank you so much. If the environment is not 100% same, going back to the plant analogy, that means there is one pot with, I'm not a garden person, but yeah, it has a cocoa peat, the other one does not have. But there are two different plants growing. One question to you. When the plant is growing, there are two plants growing. One plant flowers. Okay, they're exactly same two plants. One plant flowers and the other one is not flowering. Do you scold
അത്
that plant, the one who's not flowering? What do you do?
ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു മീറ്റിങ്ങിലായിരുന്നു എന്നിട്ട്
Do you start beating that? Do you start to put that plant in the time out saying, oh, if you don't flower by tomorrow morning, just wait and watch what I do with
വീട്ടിൽ
you?
ഇപ്പോൾ ഓൺലൈനിൽ ഒരു മീറ്റിംഗ്
Is
നടന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക
that what
അതാണ്
we do?
മറ്റേ
We take more care, right? Thank you. And
ഓക്കെ
that is conscious parenting. That is to think that, oh my God, this plant is not
ഓ
flowering. What am I missing here?
ഓ ശരി ശരി
And
എപ്പോഴാണ്
that,
നമ്മൾ വരണത് നാം എപ്പോഴാണ്
my
വരണത്
dear parents, is
ആ എന്നാ
crux of conscious parenting, according to me. It means,
ആ ഹാ
what
ഹാ
does my child need to succeed here?
ആ
What am I missing?
Career best.
Does my child need some changes in the environment? Or does my child need to learn some skills? So now tell me the answer to the first question. Is there a right way to parent a child?
Yes.
Is there a right? Take our own time, understand the child, try create situations, and if exactly, thank you. So the question remains, thank you very much, Srividya. The question is there a right way to parent every single child on the planet Earth? No? Okay, Srividya says no. Anybody agrees with her? Nope. Ronak agrees with you, Srividya. Anybody
No.
else? No, Nadia? Great. So do we have answer to our first question? Do you want to say thumbs up, thumbs down? Yeah? If you can give me a thumbs up, then I can go to the next question. I'm just uh, conscious of do we have the basics of understanding. Thank you, Srividya. Okay, Srividya has the answer. Anybody else has the answer to the question that is there a right way to parent every single child on the planet Earth? No? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to say, I'm going to assume no answer is the best answer. So that means everybody's understood, right? Okay, so next thing that I wanted to touch upon is now there is this plant growing and you go out of the house for 10 days and you tell your partner, can you please water the plant, do this, do that, do that. And then at 10:15 you call your partner, oh, did you water the plant? Then at 10:45 you said, did you give the plant the manure I gave you? Did you do that? Right? Let's just take a step back and I want you to think about who is this person who is partner. Okay, do you believe that that person is an adult? Is that partner an adult? Correct. Thank you, Srividya. All right. So is this person, so when you say parent, how do I make my partner conscious of or make him believe in conscious parenting? So this person is an adult. Okay. Can somebody do up and down? Are you people okay with showing emojis? There is this reaction that you can click up and down. Uh, do you see emojis on the bottom of your screen? Thank you, KK. Mr. Krishnan has it there. So, okay. The person is, okay, thank you, Nadia. So I believe that the person you are co-parenting your child with is an adult. Question number 2 for all of you. Does that mean that this person has grown in this world, have their own opinions, have created beliefs, have also gotten down some basics of life together, right? Now, I will ask you a question. I come from a Fauji background, from aviation background, and going into corporate life, married to a fighter pilot. We have 2 daughters and the works, right? The question is, If I was to tell you that please, please take out 1 hour out of your time to do physical exercise, workout,
No, 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 no,
5 minutes for mindfulness. If I just say it, will you do it? Is it possible to do it?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Thank you, Nadia, for that answer. There are times that you may be very convinced that you must. Thank you, Jaya. Yes, you might do it once. You may have full intentions of doing it, but you may not be able to do it because one, Navdeep, you can say it because your kids have gone away and they're 21 and 23 years old. They are in grad school. You can sit here and tell us that you have 1 hour to do workout. No, I have to prepare tiffin. I have family. I have work. Not possible. And I must respect that. I cannot convince you to work out with me, but I can work with you and tell you why I think this is a good investment of 1 hour of your time. Like I told you right in the beginning, I'm conscious of the time, right in the beginning, respect that human being. And it flows into this one. Respect the person who's parenting the child with you. And while I said I will just take it on a breath, so I just go with me on this one. We might have more questions about it. When the nature created this whole system of there has to be a small sperm and there has to be an ovum and there has to be this whole concoction of genes and the works to create this one human being. That means the nature made it absolute necessary for two characteristics to come together. Why? When two people co-parent, generally speaking, one comes with lots of oxytocin. That means love, affection, absolutely loving the whole thing from the bottom of my heart kind of a person. And the other person, while this is absolutely true, I can tell you from my conversations with my partner, with my husband, when our kids were little, and I would be like, how can you say that? And he used to tell me, you feel the love, but it is also, I feel the same. When I scold the child, my heart breaks, but it's my responsibility to make sure that our girls are ready for the world they're going to step into when they become 21 years old. Who's going to do that job? So if you are two people parenting, I want you to think, who is the person who's creating an environment, teaching the skills to this child about how to be a wonderful person inside the four walls of the house? And who is the person who has taken on the responsibility to teach the child the skills to be a successful human being in this 21st century outside of the four walls of the house? How to get a job, how to hire a taxi and not get attacked by somebody, not get kidnapped when you are going in a taxi, how to answer questions when somebody asks you a personal question, how do you become bold.
to do some conscious parenting and they do the old school parenting. So is
Yeah.
the child feeling some confusion? Because when they are when on Saturdays and Sundays when we are around, they are much more happy is what they are telling. But when they are around grandparents, they create whole hue and cry. We get a lot of phone calls at when we are at office and all those things. But so as a parent, I am a bit confused or what to say. I feel miserable and sometimes not miserable, but I feel sometimes whether are they confused about the parenting style. That is, Amma does something like this, but Amuma does something. The grandmother does
Yeah.
the thing
Yeah.
something in the other way.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
grandmother always sometimes will say the story that I used to do this thing to your mother. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
how to bring a balance between that, or how to convince the child that both are correct. Sometimes what they feel is like they criticize the grandmother in front of us, saying that grandmother made us do this thing or they didn't allow me to do this thing. So how can
Yeah.
we bring a balance between we, because it's family, we have to have that balance, no, otherwise it cannot happen. So how to bring in that balance?
Yeah, so I'm hearing two questions, Srividya. One is the child confused about two different ways of parenting? And second is, how do we balance both out? First part about, is the child confused? Think about it like this. In the school, they have a math teacher, they have an art teacher, they have a this teacher, that teacher, right? Do they behave differently as per the teacher in each class? Do they?
Yes.
Right? They are never confused. They know exactly what is expected from them in each class. Same is true at home.
Okay.
So they are
Great.
not confused. Answer number two, how to bring about balance. It's about having a one-on-one conversation with the child. Tell me, how do you feel about it? Oh, she doesn't allow me to watch the news or watch the TV. You allow me to watch the TV. This is not da 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 da. Give her the same example. Your math teacher is trying to achieve something that your art teacher is not. And your
Okay.
art teacher needs to achieve something that requires you to be free, that requires you to think outside of the box, so that you can color the leaves of the tree pink rather than green. So, what she wants to achieve is different. Similarly, your grandparent loves you dearly. Just go and ask her, do you love me? And if she says yes, she does love you. And that's her way of showing love.
Okay.
And I would always tell my child that, this comes from a very kind place. This comes from a very loving place. Some days it might look different, but that's how it is everywhere. You
Okay.
will see that in Risham's house, her mother is absolutely useless. Whereas at Srividya's house, her mother is excellent cook. But doesn't mean that Risham's mother is wrong. Every house is different. Everybody likes to parent differently.
Okay. Thank
Does
you.
that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. You gave me confidence, so no issues.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, comparison begins with kids. Exactly. And I think that is where consciously, Jaya, we talk about my child is not a mango tree like every other tree in the orchard. My child is a mint or a rose plant. So I'm going to parent the child that I have, not the child I wish I had. Does that make sense? Parent the child that you have and not the child you wish you had. No? All right. And I am looking forward to what is it like to be a teen mom? misery every single day. Some odd days are bright sunshine, and then back to misery, thundery, rainy season for few more days. And the reason that is, the science calls it individuation. Let me start with, there are three stages of parenting. First stage is from 0 to 6 years. There are certain set rules and guidelines about how to parent a child up to 6 years. Moment your child transfers to the next stage, that is from 6 to 12 years, your parenting strategies change, everything changes. And then from 12 to 18 years. Now, this 12 is slowly moving to 10. And in advanced countries like US, it's inching towards 8 years, right? So you have to see who the child is. Now, if you are a teen mom and dad, please remember your child is going through reorganization of brain. What does it mean? It means that their brain, when the child was born, they created a lot of neural network around whole of their brains, and they had synapses created everywhere. Now, as they started growing up, they started using certain pathways more often than not the others, and now the others have to be snapped away. That is the way human brain works. They may have taken a class in Korean language, and then they don't do anything about it for next 10 years. Now that neural network is not required. The brain will now snap it away. Now, when that snapping away happens, in when the child comes into the teenage, all this needs to now get out of the brain and create bigger neural pathways for the child for the things that they have been doing. If you have to think of one thing that you need to keep in your heart when you are parenting a teenager, please remember that they are doing the best they can at this moment, that the best they can is watching TV when they have loads of homework to do. That has to do with executive functioning. There is something called initiation of task that needs to turn on in their head, but they're not able to prioritize because there is just so many tasks. Their brain is totally confused. Instead, they sit and watch TV. Go back to, what does my child need to succeed? Parent the child that you have, not the child you wished for. Why is my child not studying? You are wishing. Oh, she should be doing her homework. You're wishing. My child should have put their bags in places. You are wishing. You're not parenting the child that you have. Does it make sense? I would need at least 3 hours to talk about. Thank you, Srividya, to talk about teenage parenting. But please believe me when I say they're doing the best they can. They need love and affection and support way more than they need to be scolded, to be told what to do next a lot. Thank you, Srilekha. All right, it was wonderful having you and Srividya. Very special thanks to you for coming on camera. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be speaking to all of you today and hope to see you again in the next sessions.
I just thought ki on a Sunday, let's hear what's it, and seeing Madam image, and I just made a search and all. Then I thought I'll just hear it and see whether I can tally whatever I'm doing is right and whether it should be corrected. So I think it's a very eye opening session, and it is, and I expect that Kuti to have more on such sessions without time restrictions, because I don't know how the time went also, because it was so nice to hear you, your kind of delivering the things, and everything was so nice, and I think it just struck into her heart. And it was very great to hear from you on this Sunday, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking your time and rejoining also because of the technical difficulties. But it's very nice to hear you. We expect that you come often like this, and I'm definitely very longing to have more hearing to hear more from you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, I am grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all the parents and other people who have joined, who have rejoined, and taken time out of their busy Sunday schedule, and taken time to understand and take parenting more seriously between the busy hours. And thank you all the parents who have joined. Thank you, Kuti Krishnan sir, for taking such a good topic on such a beautiful day on parenting. Thank you, Bambari team, also to coordinate, to have such a meeting and call all of us to have a platform where we can discuss such things. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks a lot, Srividya. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we will definitely in the coming months, we'll organize more such sessions. And once again, thanking you, ma'am, for taking this time out today. And over to you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. See you again next time if we have another time. But happy parenting, and you're doing very well.